In the next 1 hour, we will explore the fundamentals of data anonymizations, the concepts, components, and best practices related to this topic. Whether you are new to data management or an experienced data professional, this talk aims to provide valuable insight into this key area of data privacy. Just a few words about me, about us. So I'm Stjepan Lukšić. I'm experienced data warehouse and BI solution architect and consultant at CROZ. And I'm excited to take you on this informative journey through the critical landscape of data anonymization today. With a strong background in the various data technologies covering from data storage to data visualization and including any kind of data transformations, technologies such as ABM, Oracle, Informatica, Cognos, etc. I have successfully led projects that modernize and optimize legacy BI data warehouse systems, aligning them with organizational goals and technological advancements. In addition to technology, a constant motive is also improvement in methodological topics such as data anonymization and applications in the process of designing and planning the architecture of the data platforms. CROZ, just a few words to mention about CROZ. CROZ is Croatian German consulting company. Our mission to enable our clients to grow business and adapt crucial skills within large and complex systems has been leaving a trail of success across diverse industries. With over 20 years of experience in the technology industry, we have enterprises around the globe stay on track and march ahead amidst the never-ending digital revolution. We help clients to adjust to change and deliver exceptional results by integrating strategy, design, software, data, and AI engineering. Digital transition is a journey, and we stick close by to make sure everything keeps running smoothly. We cover a wide range of data fields and technologies. This includes creating data platforms from scratch, integrating diverse data sources, ensuring data quality, and preparing data for insightful analysis. Maintaining a technology-agnostic mindset and focusing on innovative methodologies allows us to stay ahead of trends. But let's go back for our topic, data anonymization. Over the next 60 minutes, we'll navigate the complexities and challenges of data anonymization. Here is what we'll cover. In the first part, we'll talk about fundamentals, introduction to data anonymization, anonymization techniques, and practical anonymization strategies. And in the second part of our webinar, we'll go through some advanced topics such as anonymization tool, our experience, our use case that can be applied, evaluation of anonymization process, and future trends and AI in data anonymization. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and safeguard sensitive information, ensure regulatory compliance, and unlock the true value of your data, while also preserving privacy, and finally show how CROZ Anonymization, powered by AI and ML algorithms, is implemented and can help you and your organization also. Here with us also is my colleague Nikolina. She will help us with the organization and administration. And during the presentation, we will have some questions for you to make this more interactive. And at the end, also we have a space for the question and answers. And also during the whole webinar, you can put your questions in the chat, and we can discuss it also at the end. First of all, let's make some introduction and definition of data anonymization. In the era defined by data, the ability to protect privacy while leveraging insights is paramount. Data anonymization is the cornerstone of this balance. So, what is data anonymization? Its core data anonymization is method of preserving private or confidential information by deleting or encoding identifiers that link individuals to store data. It protects private activity of individual or corporation while preserving the credibility of the data collected and exchanged. In general, the data flow in which data anonymization is applied can be depicted as in the figure. An organization collects data in raw, structured or unstructured format, and the policies and rules prescribed in the organization for maintaining data privacy are applied to such data. After the anonymization process is completed, the data is taken and can be further used in non-production environments in a secure manner and even shared with third parties. Why is anonymization so crucial? The purpose of data anonymization extends across several vital domains. Of course, first and maybe the main thing is privacy protection. It ensures individual identities and that are safeguarded from exposure and protects against unauthorized access to personal information. Think of this example, Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018, where personal data of 87 million Facebook users was harvested without consent. Such data breaches can lead to identity theft, reputational damage, losing customer trust and loyalty, and severe legal consequences and fines from regulatory bodies, leading to financial losses and operational disruptions. Next one is regulatory compliance. Anonymization helps organizations to meet legal requirements set by regulations like GDPR, CCPA, and other, avoiding hefty fines and legal consequences. For instance, British Airways was fined £20 million under GDPR for a data breach affecting over 100,000 customers. Significant fines for violating regulations which can impact profitability or other risk, a loss of market access where companies may be barred from operating in certain markets if they fail to comply with local data protection laws. The next one is data security. It significantly reduces the risk of data breaches and misuse of sensitive information, thereby enhancing overall data security posture. The 2017 Equifax data breach, where hackers accessed personal information of 147 million people, underscores the importance of robust security measures. The audit found that Equifax was not adhering to its own patching schedules. In this example, it was about Apache Struts web framework. The risk of cyber attack has materialized and private data was harvested, such first name, last name, social security numbers, birth dates, address, and in some instances, driver license numbers. And finally, we come to this last one. This is where the true art lies. It's data utility. Anonymization allows organization to use data for analysis and decision-making without compromising privacy, balancing the need for data utility with the requirement for privacy. However, improper anonymization can lead to loss of insight, bias, inaccuracy, and missed opportunities. Now we come to the first question. Please, Nicolina, can you start the pool. So the question is, what do you believe is the biggest driver for data anonymization in your organization? Please select one answer. We'll give you a few more moments to answer this. Great. So if you're finished, I think we can go further. Okay, let's continue. And to effectively anonymize data, we must first understand what types of data typically contains sensitive information that needs protection. Here are the key categories. Of course, we are talking about private data. Personal identifiers are on top of this list. This includes, obviously, identifiers like names, full names, first names, last names, and social security numbers, or any other type of unique identification numbers, depends on jurisdiction. Second list is contact information. Addresses such as home address, email address, and phone numbers are also prime targets for masking. Next is about financial information. Those type of data encompasses credit cards number, complete or partial number, bank account numbers, and that can be some also special transaction details. Also, we take care about healthcare information, which are highly sensitive and require robust anonymization. So medical records, patient identifiers, health conditions, and insurance information such as policy numbers, claims, details, etc., are highly sensitive, and we should be more considerate about those types of data. Demographic data, dates of birth, full or just a year, gender and ethnicity data often need to be generalized or suppressed. So another type, another category. Professional information, companies, organization often collects data about their employees. So data such as employee ID and exact salary figures or bonuses are also very sensitive. And we came for the last category. It's about sensitive documents. Legal documents like contracts and licenses, as well as confidential correspondence, such as emails or notes, may contain sensitive information that needs to be masked or redacted. Those are all types that we, during the process of the anonymization, should consider how and which techniques should we apply on this data. And that brings us to the next question. Please, Nicolina, can you start the second pool? The question is, which type of data do you find most challenging to anonymize effectively in your current operations? Also, if you can pick one answer, they are all correct answers. Take your time. Okay, I think that we can continue. Thanks. And in the next for a few slides, we'll see some statistics about data breaches and the importance of data anonymization. So the stark reality of data breaches. These statistics are sobering. For example, those data that we see as statistics are from the 2024, so it's something that is very useful and informative. We see here a lots of information, but I'll just mention some of them to point out some of them. For example, the global average cost of a data breach reached $4.88 million in 2024. In cloud environments, this cost was even higher, averaging $5.17 million US dollars. But for me, what I think it's most indicative is that 68% of 2024 data breaches involved human errors. The average time to recuperate from a data breach can be as high as 194 days, with an average attack taking 64 days to contain. If we take a look by industry, the healthcare and finance sector were among the most affected by data breaches in period of 2022 to 2024. Companies in the healthcare industry face numerous threats and should therefore examine their medium and also long-term initiatives to ensure continuous safety and security. If we look just 2023, almost 300 million accounts were leaked globally, with 1/3 of all breached accounts being of American origin. And in 2024, Europe was hit hardest by data breaches, experiencing the largest share at 29% of all compromised accounts, totaling over 1.6 billion, with Russia accounting for the majority. Asia came in second place, representing 23% of the global total, or nearly 1.3 billion breached accounts, led by China. Following them was North America, which saw 14% of all breaches, amounting to almost 770 million compromised accounts, predominantly from the US. Compared to 2023, Europe, North America, and Asia remained the top 3 most affected regions, but their ranking shifted. Since 2004, a total of 23 billion accounts have been breached, and approximately 7.7 billion of them have unique email addresses. That means that on a global scale, for example, a single email address is breached around 3 times. These figures aren't just numbers, they represent tangible financial losses, reputational damage, and erosion of public trust. We talk about benefits, especially the first ones, but on the other hand, we must be aware also of risks such as re-identification. Combining anonymized data with other data sets can reveal personal identities. The impact of this is privacy risk if anonymization is not properly implemented. The next one is data quality and utility loss. Over anonymization can remove useful details, making the data less valuable for analysis. This may hinder insights and decision-making. Complexity and cost. Also, implementing robust anonymization techniques can be resource-intensive. The impact of this includes higher costs and complexity in managing data processes. And at the end, regulatory ambitions, different jurisdictions may have varying standards for what constitutes anonymized data. And this can lead to legal uncertainties and potential non-compliance issues. And now let's delve into the technical heart of our talk, the various anonymization techniques available, and each has its strengths and ideal use cases. There is dozen anonymization techniques, but based on our experience and best practices in this area, some of them are wide used, and some are more complex and even more difficult for implementation. Here we'll talk about masking, pseudonymization, and generalization, and other just to mention. Synthetic data generation is also preferred, and with AI implementation, its usage is more common, especially when AI can generate new values based on original data, but with, of course, an element of noise in data. And let's start with the data masking. Data masking is for sure one of the most used and applied methods. It's a method of creating a structure similar but inauthentic version of original data. Its primary purpose is to protect sensitive data from unauthorized access while maintaining the usability of the data for test and development. Common data types are personal identifiable information, protected health information, payment card information, or intellectual property data. There are a few types of masking that can be implemented, but for all of these types of masking, the process is very similar. We should create an environment which is secure, allowing only service users to access and work. Administration also, of course. And in that environment, restore data from production, remove any unnecessary data, and mask. From masked data, we can create as many copies as we need to satisfy organizational needs, for example, for training or development purposes. And types of data masking, of course, we have static data masking, masks data in non-production environment by creating a duplicate of the database with masked data. Dynamic data masking masks data in real time, often used to restrict data access within production environment. And the last one is deterministic data masking. It consistently masks the same input value with the same output value, which is useful for maintaining referential integrity. Other masking technique, so encryption, converts data into a code reversible with the correct decryption key. Is the most complex and secure type, suitable for production data that needs to return to its original state. Important thing to be aware of, not just with this technique, but also in others, is to secure, store encryption key. If any unauthorized party compromises the key, can decrypt the data and view the actual data. Some other type of masking, one other type is scrambling. It jumbles characters and numbers into random order, hiding original content. It's applicable to numeric, alphabetic, and special format data. And for numeric data, such as social security number or bank account numbers, randomizing or shuffling digits, but preserving original length and format. Names, addresses, text fields often need to preserve length and format, and shuffling letters within words or replacing characters can be used also in process for alphabetic data. And for elements such as email, postal codes, phone numbers, shuffling parts of the data, for example, the local part of an email address while keeping the domain intact, or randomizing digits in phone numbers. On the right side, you see some examples of this scrambling technique. Substitution. It replaces data with another value, preserving the original look and feel. It often uses lookup files or tables, and this technique is very similar to other techniques such as pseudonymization, which we'll talk about in a minute. One another technique for masking is shuffling. It uses the same individual masking data column for shuffling in the randomized fashion across multiple records. A very common case for this technique is when we want to preserve original values, original data, and be sure that all constraints will be valid. In example, we see here shuffling employee salary account across multiple employee records. Of course, some challenges of data masking. Format preservation. This masked data must preserve the original format. This is especially important for data threads that require a specific order or format, such states. We mentioned this format lots of times in the describing those techniques earlier. Referential integrity. Masked values, if they are used as primary keys in database model, must be consistently modified across the database. And gender preservation. The system should be gender aware when replacing names to avoid altering gender distribution. Also, very challenging is semantic integrity. When masked data must fall within the specified range of values to preserve meaning. Database typically enforce rules that limit the range of values permitted. For example, the range of salaries. And data uniqueness. When masking unique data, the system should apply unique values for each data element. This last one challenge brings us very well to this another technique. It's pseudonymization. This technique creates completely new fake values using a consistent mapping schema. With mapping, original PIR values can be looked up, preserving data format, but also data diversity and data frequency. This is very important for data usability. Pseudonymization process, how it works. The pseudonymization process typically involves the following steps. Organization or maybe governance department should identify PI fields, and after that apply pseudonymization algorithms and stores the mapping securely in a secure location. And finally, use the pseudonymized data for operations instead of original data. We have two types of pseudonymization. So it could be done as a reversible pseudonymization, which allows data restoration using a key, or can be implemented as irreversible pseudonymization, and this is designed to prevent re-identification of data, of the original data. Benefits or some risks of applying pseudonymization technique. So it enhances privacy and security, enables compliance with directives, and maintains data utility for analysis. But there are also risks that we should be aware of to prevent data vulnerability or even data breach. Pseudonyms must be securely managed to prevent re-identification and might not fully protect against advanced data linkage attacks. If pseudonymization keys are compromised, data can be re-identified. And the technique also widely used is generalization. That's next technique on our list. It reduces the granularity of data representation to prevent individual identification. It involves replacing specific data points with broader, less precise categories. For example, we can convert precise ages into age groups or replace existing addresses with city or state level data. Or, for example, we can group individual incomes into broader brackets. But also, this technique has its own benefits and risks. Benefits are enhancement of privacy by reducing re-identification risk and helps comply with regulations by minimizing identifiable information. On the other side, risks. The risks are that over-generalization can reduce data utility and affect analysis quality, requiring a careful balance between utility and privacy. On this slide, we have a brief overview of techniques mostly used in anonymization process with characteristic of each. My favorite, or better to say, based on experience, pseudonymization is an extremely useful technique which provides a high level of protection of personal data, and on the other hand, ensure high usability of anonymized data for cases such as research and analytics or regulatory compliance, and can be applied on different data types. Other techniques like data swapping, synthetic data generation, aggregation, suppression, k-anonymity, etc. plays roles in specific anonymization scenarios. And now it's time for the third question. Nicolina, please, can you start the question? Thanks. And we ask you, which anonymization technique do you think offers the best balance between privacy protection and data utility for your specific needs or in general? Please, can you take answer? Great. Okay. If you are all done, we can continue. Now we'll see some things about practical anonymization strategies, use cases. So effective data anonymization isn't just about applying those techniques that we mentioned. It's about strategic implementation. We can point out three major challenges of data anonymization, which are, on first, is balancing privacy and utility, preventing re-identification, and on the third is complying with security requirements. Let's dive into each of those three challenges and how it affects the process of anonymization. Balancing privacy and utility. This is most challenging aspect. we need to strike a balance between completely erasing PII for privacy and retaining sufficient data available for research, for analysis, and decision making. It requires continuous evaluation and optimization. Effective anonymization protects privacy, but over-anonymization can render data useless for business insights. The goal is to maximize privacy while retaining sufficient data accuracy, often requiring continuous optimization. The next challenge is preventing re-identification. Anonymized data can still be at risk. Malicious actors can use re-identification attacks to link seemingly anonymized data back to individuals. Enhanced protection often means combining anonymization with other data security methods. And we come to the third one, is complying with security requirements. Various data protection regulations worldwide, such as GDPR in EU and CCPA in the US, explicitly encourage or compel organizations to anonymize data as a key safeguard. Each of these pieces of legislation specifies that their requirements don't apply to fully anonymized data assets that cannot be re-identified by any means. If re-identification of anonymized data is possible, the requirements of these regulations and laws still apply. And this means that organizations need to treat anonymized data like personal data and properly protect it. Various data protection requirements define how organizations should collect, how they store, and how they handle personal information. And how to approach to data anonymization. These steps can be used in most cases, not just transactional systems. It's even suitable for anonymizing customer data for a data warehouse platform. So here's the best practice approach. First step is to assess your data, to understand the type, volume, and usage of sensitive data you collect and store. So identify and classify sensitive data such as names, addresses, phone numbers, emails, social numbers, and payment information. This is often large scale, involving millions of records. The second step is to prioritize use cases. Determine how you are currently using data and how those uses might evolve. So current uses might include fraud detection and compliance risk, but evolving uses could involve also AI-driven customer insights. High priority is placed on anonymized data for example, fraud analytics to ensure compliance without sacrificing utility. The third step is to understand legal requirements. Be aware of current and upcoming internal and external regulations. Adhere to GDPR and industry standards like PCI DSS and anticipate future privacy laws. The next step is technical step. So it's about evaluating your technical stack. Assess existing data platforms and their anonymization capabilities. Platforms like IBM Information Server, Microsoft SQL Server, CDPs and CRMs systems may have built-in anonymization features. Assess their adequacy and identify gaps. This assessment will give you an answer Does your organization needs custom solution or additional third-party tools? And the last one is look to the future. Plans for scalability and consistent, reliable data security as your organization grows. Plan for anticipated growth in customer base and data volume by investing in scalable tools and assuring consistent anonymization across all data touchpoints. And time for the question number 4. Nicolino, please, can you start number 4? Yes, the question is very simple. Are you satisfied with how data is anonymized in your organization? Yes, just 2 answers, so just keep a moment. Okay, I think that most of you have answered. We can continue. We talk about this tech stack earlier, but let's give some overview about anonymization tool, CROZ Anonymous, because choosing the right tool and continuously evaluating your process are crucial for long-term success of this anonymization process. Some of essential features of anonymization tools and technologies. So for the robust anonymization, we need a robust tool, and it should possess some key features such as privacy protection, of course, strong anonymization techniques, key anonymity, diversity, and T-closeness with support for both dynamic and static option. Data utility, preserve data utility by maintaining essential patterns and correlations, offering flexible configuration. And of course, compliance and security, ensure compliance with major regulations, GDPR, CCPA, and etc. And provide audit and monitoring tools to ensure that ongoing compliance and security. And using this audit and monitoring, we'll also have documentation of anonymization process. And why a custom solution like CROZ Anonymous? Custom solutions offer significant advantages, for example, tailored to specific needs, the tools like CROZ Anonymous are designed to meet unique requirements and workflows and can be easily adopted and modified as your business needs evolve over time. Enhance data security, utilize proprietary algorithms less likely to be targeted by common attacks, offering greater control in anonymization process. And then that brings us to integration capabilities. Solution like CROZ Anonymous can seamlessly integrate with existing IT infrastructure, and custom APIs allows development teams to utilize anonymization process independently. At the end, scalability and performance are also topics to consider. Tools are optimized for specific data types and volumes with a scalable architecture to accommodate growth to support increasing data volumes and complexity. CROZ Anonymous, our custom anonymization mode, addresses challenges like volume growth, heterogeneous systems, and the need for reusability, often utilizing a rule engine with regular expressions for common data types like emails, URLs, phone numbers. It also incorporates base AI models and ML algorithms for advanced capabilities. Here we see some challenges that push us forward during development phase of CROZ Anonymous. And the biggest one is about volume growth. But to satisfy clients' needs, we need to also make a solution that can do anonymization in heterogeneous systems and more reusable and configurable. Here, I'll give you some short overview of our CROZ Anonymous data platform. So the main part of the solution is developed as a Apache Spark application. And that Apache Spark application can be executed in a different environments, such as IBM Cloud Pak for Data or any other containerized environment like Kubernetes or even as a Docker, in a Docker. We also here integrate with other open source technologies such as Apache Airflow for creating an orchestration and hierarchy of execution of this Spark anonymization application. Airflow, as you know, has a really good integration with Git. And on Git, we put all our code for definition of how this implementation of any table should be executed. And if any change is made in code, it continuously deployed in real time deploy in Airflow. We support different relational databases such as Postgres and IBM DB2, Oracle, etc. And also we use Postgres as a meta database for execution this process. Meta database serve as a single point where we define and configure all the process for data anonymization. And then the next step is to collect raw data on the top of which anonymization process will be executed. And then the last step is to store data on the secure anonymized environment. As I mentioned earlier, we have also implemented AI capabilities for data anonymization. So we also have lots of documents that are not, and information that are not stored in the relational databases that are in some documents, and we need to process it and make it useful for the training sessions or such. And for example, if we want to if we have input on the left side, like here, and we want to get output from the anonymization services in the files, we need to process it with AI model and rule engine. As I said, there is lots of information that can be defined as a regular expression. We define lots of rule engine to extract emails, URLs, phone numbers, and other sensitive information from files like this. But that's not everything. We have also AI model, ML model BERT that can, from these sentences, from these texts, free input, that can recognize and apply and tag different tokens with the defined tokens such as person, such as location, and etc. So this is the real example how AI has already evolved in this area, but also AI can be implemented in situations when we work with lots of different database systems to recognize based on metadata or catalog of tables, or even based on the content in the attributes. And this brings us to the fifth question. Nicolina, please, can you raise next question? It said, are you interested in learning more about specific data anonymization techniques or tools? Okay, I think that we have all answers. We can continue further. We have this last part where we talk about evaluating anonymization effectiveness. The main goal is to ensure anonymization effectively protects individual privacy while preserving data usefulness and complying with legal standards. Evaluation criteria includes these 5 bullets. They are privacy protection. We can measure how well is PII obfuscated to prevent re-identification. And next one is data utility. Assess level of utility. Is the anonymized data still useful for analysis and decision making? Compliance. Does it adhere to the legal and regulatory requirements? Technical. Is the process efficient and scalable? And this demands continuous monitoring. And at the end, it's about human factor. Is the process easy for staff to understand and implement? Are training needs and user compliance evaluated? So those are all criteria that can be measured for anonymization process. And future trends in data anonymization. We have also already mentioned some, but I think that the future of data anonymization is dynamic and exciting, especially in increasing adoption of AI and machine learning. AI will automate anonymization for sure, identify sensitive data patterns, and adapt to new threats. Something else is about integration with big data analytics. It's already here, but in future it will be more. About that, organization will seek solutions that allow extracting insights from large data sets and preserve privacy. Enhanced privacy controls for individuals. Individuals will have greater control over their data through decentralized identity management and consent mechanisms. And one more about preserving privacy preserving AI. Advancements will enable training machine learning models on sensitive data without exposing the data itself. Those are some things that we think that will evaluate in the future. And believe me, the last question for you. Please, Nicolina, can you raise the next one? Thanks. So this is final question after this webinar. What is the single most important action you plan to take regarding data anonymization in your organization? Please take your time to answer this last one. And I'll take this time to maybe do some conclusions. We covered a vast amount of ground today, from the fundamental importance of data anonymization to advanced techniques, practical strategies, and the exciting future with AI. Some maybe key takeaways for you. Data anonymization is essential for privacy protection, regulatory compliance, data security, and data utility. Understanding different anonymization techniques and their challenges is crucial for effective implementation. And strategic approach involving data assessment, use case prioritization, legal understanding, tech stack evaluation, of course, and future planning is vital. Custom solution and continuous evaluation are key to successful and scalable anonymization. The future of data anonymization will be heavily influenced by AI. It's here, but in the future it will be more, emphasizing privacy-preserving technologies and cross-border solutions. And now I'll open the floor for questions. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat, or maybe are already some of them. Do we have any questions? Just to see the chat. Okay, if it's something. So we have a question from Antonio. Are there any concerns by your customers by using AI models in their data anonymization? And how do you approach it? Yes, just a few days ago, I talked with our customer about using these AI models in data anonymization process. And we agreed that if those AI models or those processes using AI is executed in local environment, in controlled environment, not on the net, on the internet, that's okay. There are open source, for example, algorithms or even LLMs that can be executed in our environment, and those can bring very, very satisfying results in the anonymization process. So yes, there are some concerns, but there are solutions that can be, and how this process can be done also in our environment. Thanks, you're welcome. So if there are no any new questions, thank you for joining us today. We hope this webinar has provided valuable insights and inspired you to embrace data anonymization as a cornerstone of your data strategy. For more information, please visit our website, CROZ website, and feel free to contact us. I'll stay for a few extra minutes if someone would like to discuss this topic or have their story to share with us. And once again, thank you all, and until next time, be anonymized.